Baby, you guys know what time it is. This is a very, very special day in football, obviously, and we're going to get into that. But we got a show lined up, you guys. Some of you guys know the gentleman in the middle of the screen. He doesn't really need an introduction in the parts where I'm from, but we're going to get into that in a second. First and foremost, let me introduce my boy from St. Louis that always holds me down. That's none other than the great Q, the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
Man, I'm feeling good. We got three back on here, and I'm feeling wonderful, man. It's draft day. Man, a lot going on. A lot of instant millionaires, man. Hopefully, these boys have enough sense and can have some longevity in their career, man, and stay out of trouble. So, good thing to see. Good thing to see.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And like he said, man, we got three on the show tonight. And for you young bucks that might not know, that might be doing your off-season training, doing your 7-on-7, watching the draft tonight, there is a very, very bad man that you're about to get a chance to listen to. Really, you guys, a college football legend in his own right. Now he is the running back coach at San Diego State and helping those young men reach their full potential. And just a wealth of knowledge, you guys, a wealth of knowledge on how to move as an athlete, how to move off the field. We're going to talk a little recruiting. We're going to talk a little draft. And the great Cam Ward went #1 overall, which is crazy because he was actually a 0-star recruit. So we're in a new day and age in football, you guys. And we got the perfect person to talk to. And this is a dear friend of mine that I'm glad to say, Buff alums here. And that's none other than the great Darian Hagan. What's going on, D. Hagan?
What's up, baby? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, you're looking good. And I know you got the California sun. You're back in SoCal, man. And we're pumped up to have you, dude.
Hey, it feels good to be home. You know, I don't have to deal with that snow no more. I wake up, the sun is up, man, and I stretch and I'm ready to go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. So we pumped up to have D. Hagan on. I know a lot of people will watch this either live or recorded that know this gentleman and watched him play and also have been coached by him. We've had players of our own program like a Donovan Lee, that have been around D. Hagan. So very excited to have you on, man. And let's get into it. For those that don't know, before you go pro, we keep all the topics on the bottom ticker. So you guys got your NFL draft over there, but you watching with us right here, you know what we're going to cover, just like the draft on the bottom ticker, all right? So the first topic, obviously, is near and dear to our heart, but, next level for you, Darian. The great Coach Matt, Bill McCartney, passed away recently, and I know he was influential in your life. And just even getting you to Colorado and keeping you in Colorado. But I wanted to give you some time, man, to let us know what are some things that you took away from your time with Coach Mack?
Man, I took a lot away from him. He taught me, humility. He taught me to how to respect, other people. He taught me to be a man, and when I say be a man, he taught me to stand on what I preach and if you're doing something wrong, own it. If you're doing something right, you don't have to brag about it. Just you be humble about it. He taught us all, man. Just to be great people. You what you give out is what you get in return. And if you got bad vibes, you got bad body language. If bad things come out of your mouth, people are gonna look at you a certain way, and then you're gonna be judged by that. So he taught us a lot, man. And if it wasn't for him coming to my house in South Central LA, I never would have attended the University of Colorado. I was my sights were set on either Oklahoma or Nebraska, and once he started recruiting me and he started talking to me and my family, he was the first coach that I could look in the eye and could tell that he was sincere and he was telling the exact truth. He wasn't making up or living behind a lie just to recruit a kid to his program.
Mm.
You know, he wanted us all to be better people and to get have great opportunities in life. And when he told me that you can't go to Nebraska because you live in a Crip neighborhood. If you go to Nebraska, you come home, with your red on, they're gonna kill you. And my mom looked at me. I looked at my mom. I was like, I didn't even think about that. And
So he came down to the hood to recruit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
he pulled a Pete Carroll on you.
Oh yeah. So I did a story a while back about a day in the life of recruiting, and I took the John Snelson, who was the video guy at CU. I took him on a road on the path to recruiting. I talked about every school. I talked about Coach Mack and Coach Barnett pulling up a block from my house at a hamburger stand, and because we didn't have cell phones back then, so they had to pull up at the pay phone, put the quarters in, and call the house. And when they were calling the house, some gangsters driving by, seeing these two white men, out of their element, and they start shooting over their head. And
Really?
yeah, and so I'm on the phone, I can hear it, and I hear Coach Mack tell Coach Barnett, "Get off the ground, Gary. We got to go." And then me and my uncle got in the car. We drove down the street to where they were, and picked them up, got them back into the neighborhood, and then the rest was history, man. He sat in my house, and
Wow.
and he lived his truth. He lived his purpose, and everything that he said that he was going to do for me as a person and as an athlete and student athlete, my collegiate experience, all those things all came true. And he was the only guy that I believe that was, he was heaven sent. He was sent from God to come to South Central LA and to put me in a place where he could guide me and lead me to a path that I couldn't lead myself. And then he always said that's what coaching is, taking kids to a level that they can't take themselves or push themselves. And so I'm grateful forever for Coach Mack and his philosophies and his teachings on me and us as players.
Wow, I've never heard that story. I
Man.
obviously have heard so many amazing stories of Coach Mack, but I knew you were a bad option quarterback coming out of high school. But Coach Mack, I didn't know he was grazing bullets for you, D. Hagan. I didn't know him and Barnett had to go through that to get you. Thank the Lord they got you, and they were safe. And obviously, you got your young athletes that listen to this. I mean, you're looking at a young man that I'm talking 3 Big 8 championships, national champion, All-American, Heisman finalist. That's who you're looking at, you guys. So, Coach Mack knew what he had, and definitely rest in peace. He's going to have a statue put in front of Folsom Stadium, and it's going to be well worth it, you guys. So, that's a great story right there. Talking about Folsom Stadium, you guys, we on to our next topic, and this one obviously is something that the people would probably kick me off my own show, D. Hagan, if I didn't bring this up. But you got two superstars that just finished up in Boulder recently, right after they took the jersey off. The names were going up in the stadium, and Travis Hunter, Shador, and people have their opinions, and a lot of people voiced those opinions, whether it was Colorado alums or people outside of the family. Others had to wait to get their jerseys retired, and then there were others like yourself and Slash that people thought should have been ahead. A great one like Deion Figure. So I'm not gonna have you talk on the Colorado situation, D. Hagan, because that be a conflict of interest. But I want to put you in the shoes of an athletic director. Let's say you're the athletic director now for San Diego State, And I
Right.
do understand that jersey retirements have been kind of a judgment, personal thing. There's no set rule.
Right.
Let's put D. Hagan, AD of San
Mm-hmm.
Diego State, and let's talk quarterback in particular. Quarterback in particular. What would it take for AD Hagan to say, you know what? Nobody's wearing that jersey number again. Is it a certain number of All-Americans? Is it
Mm-hmm.
stats? Is it a national championship? Is it something that happens after they leave, like number one overall? What
Mm-hmm.
would AD Hagan consider somebody that the quarterback needs to get their jersey retired?
I would say, it would be the body of work,
Yeah.
but then again, you have different approaches and different eras. So right
Yes.
now, the era is different than what it was when I played. When I played at CU and when you played at CU, that you're gonna have 4 years to be there and 5 years if you got hurt. Okay. Now you got guys that are there and they're transferring in, school to school, league to league, just because, for better opportunities. So I still gotta lay my hat on the body of work. And the body of work is longevity. I don't think that, we should be retiring jerseys after 2 years. Also, I don't think that I think records, are important. I think winning is definitely important,
Right.
and I think being a good person on and off the field, is definitely important. Um, what your body of work also kind of goes in line with what you do in the NFL. For me, at the time, NFL wasn't going to take a short quarterback, and they wasn't going to take quarterback that ran the option offense. So, but I definitely would. It would still be the body of work. It would still be, what did you do with the body of work? Did you win championships? Did you win bowl games? Did you win national championships? Did you win national awards? Uh, was your first team all conference, first team All American? Those things. I think all that stuff adds up to, you know, having your name retired or your jersey
So,
retired in the
so,
stadium.
so even with today's day and age, where these kids are hopping around like hopscotch,
Yeah.
um, you're saying if you're AD, you're not even thinking about it until you see that kid's put in some time at their university.
Put in some time at the university, and once they leave the university, it can't be a judgmental deal or thing that's coming straight from the heart. It's a cooling off period to everything. You know, uh, you don't. I think Travis. For instance, Travis won every award he could possibly win in his category on offense and defense. He won it. And his jersey should be retired, but it shouldn't have been retired last week. I
Right.
think his jersey should be retired. With a cooling off period and come back. Years from now and revisit it. Same thing with Shador. But I think right now everything is centered around NIL, it's centered around money, and it's not about history. It's not about tradition. It's not about really winning because proof's in the pudding. Okay, but I think that a lot of those things they matter. I don't think you push history and tradition aside just for the sake of
For the
Right.
times.
of money.
No, hundred
And
percent.
so I that as an AD, all that stuff would come into play, and it wouldn't be any jerseys and stuff retired until I felt it was the right time and it was the necessary time to do it. I also heard people say that shouldn't take guys to die for them to receive their flowers and get their name on the
Yeah.
stadium and things like that. I definitely agree. But there still should be a cooling off period, and then everybody gets come back and revisit it. But I know some schools they have a policy in place, and at Colorado they don't have a policy in place, which is unfortunate.
Well said, right there, AD Guru. You're at KU. It's your alma mater, Rock Chalk. What's the requirements for a quarterback to have nobody ever wear their jersey again in Lawrence?
Well, Coach, I mean, it's quarterback, but it's any position, man. I mean, to me, man, I'll make this short because Coach said, I agree with 150%, what Coach said. But, man, to me, it's got to do with respect. For my alma mater, man, you know what the hell Gail Sayers or John Riggins, man, are coming there throwing furniture, man, if you retired something before them. Or John Hadle or Kwame Lassiter. They come in there moving furniture, right? It's about respect. To me, that's all it's about. To me, I appreciate Travis. He's a great player. I appreciate Shedeur. He's a good player. But you talking about, again, the man that we have on the night, Slash, man, Deion Figures, Chad Brown, Christian Poirier. Man, that's disrespectful, man. That's pure disrespectful to me. And I feel like Colorado's AD sold out. I feel like, man, Coach Bieniemy, man, every one of these dudes got every right to march up in there, man, and be moving furniture as far as I'm concerned. And I'm standing on business on that.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you're passionate. We brought this up lightly
Because real talk. No, hold on a second. I got this, Coach. Watch this. You know what? Because low-key 3 was the best quarterback to ever come through there. Then Slash, and then whoever else you want to put after that. And yeah, I said it live on YouTube. And run it back 10 times.
Well, nobody has had more winning. I mean, he never lost to Nebraska.
Period. Right?
So
you got to stand on business on that. That's fact. Because Coach said, you looking at the body of work. This man we got on the night is the winningest QB that ever came through there to wear these colors. Period and point blank. There's no argument. There's no back and forth. There's no maybes, no ands, no nothing.
Well said right there.
90 squad gangsters out there, man. You could not touch them dudes, man.
Right. And we played for each other. We didn't play for
it's different.
We played for each other. We trained together. We blood, sweat, and tears, man. All the guys that I played with, I still talk to. So yeah, it is disrespectful, in my opinion. But at the same time, if I'm the AD, like you asked what I would do. I'm not gonna say what I would do, but it would be rectified.
Because I feel like, man, when you got guys that you look at in stadiums, man, they somehow especially, man, we were just saying this before the show started. Those of you that, that are watching with us tonight. Now I was telling Coach, man, like, especially that era, man, that late 80s, early 90s, man, that molded me and so many other great players of our era. These dudes changed the culture of college football. I'm gonna say it again because I gotta repeat this. Coach, man, Darian Hagan and Coach Bieniemy and those dudes, man, the Michael Irvin, that Miami teams, those dudes, they changed the culture of college football. They're the ones that blended hip hop and football together in college, man, and made it colorful. They forced you to tune in. You don't have a choice. You're gonna watch these boys, even if you hate them, you're gonna watch them because they were that electrifying. We didn't see that, Travis. Yeah, but man, you tell me, man. No, I mean, with Shedeur, I wasn't wild like that. Yes, it was some great plays, man. I'm not trying to take nothing away from these kids, but they didn't, to me, change the culture. They didn't
define an era.
These boys changed it. These boys, like Coach has said, yeah, I remember when I came out with 2 towels. I said, I know, Coach, because I was at high school doing the same thing because I saw y'all doing it. Right. These boys was the ones that had cats writing stuff on their towel, looking cool in high school with the high spec.
It's a different era. They've got the social media by the proverbial know. So that holds weight. And like Coach said, it's just different. The target might have moved a little bit where there's not as much weight on the wins and losses.
Right.
You know, in his era, in our era, there was a lot of weight on those wins and losses. Him in particular shifted the balance of the Big Eight. You know, if he goes to Nebraska or Oklahoma, like he said, that changes everything. You
Changes
know,
everything.
so no, this is obviously a big time topic, you guys, and it was just a different day and age. But there have been dogs to come through Boulder, Colorado, and you know, like Darian said, we don't have a policy. You know,
Right.
we don't have a policy, so maybe that will change. So on to the next topic. Go ahead, D.
I was gonna say, and if we, doing apples to apples, oranges to oranges, if we were in that, then living in that NIL era,
Oh,
there wouldn't have been a national championship at the University of Colorado. Because you know why?
probably not.
A bunch of us would have took the money.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Just
no.
like
I know
a bunch of us
y'all
would have took the
did. I'm
money.
gonna tell you what y'all would have did. Now, I could be wrong. If it was like that, y'all might have stayed, but if not, y'all would have anteed up, went back to SC, and had the same results. Y'all just would have went back home and did it.
Absolutely.
Tell me
right.
I'm lying, Coach.
No,
Y'all would have
100%.
took that bread, went to SC, went right back home, and did the same thing, right down the street from your mama house.
It would have been a lot tougher for Coach Matt. You know, it would have been a lot tougher.
I'm saying.
Right.
I know how that would have went.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we see a big rub.
If they had the NIL,
right.
I would be sitting here with my chain on saying Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
But you have the clout too.
It's not. It was a different time, man, and we play for fun.
Yeah, no, just some. I mean, I followed you guys too, and was happy to when CU called. On to our next topic, you guys, and obviously we got the big time draft going on right now. I know a couple of you guys got a couple of screens in the background, and Darian was fortunate enough to get drafted in 92 by, 92 by the 49ers, my hometown team, and some of these kids' dreams are coming true in Green Bay tonight, you guys. And I'll start off with you, Q. When you really think, man, because we've obviously had draft picks that weren't expected to do much and balled out, and then we've had draft picks that were expected to do something and didn't do nothing. Is it an art or is it science, man? If you're in that draft war room, are you looking at all the stats and the data and what school they came from, or are you going with your emotions and your intuitions? What's Guru doing?
Well, no, Coach, it's too much money on the line to be going with emotions, man. Only thing you can do in that war room is look at what your immediate need is and take the best available. That's pretty, that's always going to be the name of the game. Any necessary trades are going to be made after the fact. But flat out, it's always going to be, hey, we're taking the absolute best available.
Okay. Yep. Talk to me, D. You feel the same way if you're in the war room? You taking best available?
Absolutely, taking the best available. A quarterback can't do it by himself. A receiver can't do it by himself. And you always got to work within the offensive line and defensive line. If the offensive line and defensive lines are not solid, then it's going to be an issue. Okay, so you always got to go on need, and then need being for best available, and then you work your way around by different positions. Once you get, in my opinion, get your offensive line, defensive line sold up.
Okay, so right there, you guys have it. They said if they were in the war room, they're going best available. Forget the position, all that. Give me the best one on the board according to our scouting. So, all right, that's and most teams do go that route. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and we're whipping and running through this show. If you guys have not already, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. We want to grow this to be the best football community, organic football community on YouTube, you guys, and we definitely need your love, your support, and your help with that. So if you haven't already, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, bring a friend next week to the Locker Room Show. But we're on to the transfer portal, and Coach, this affects many of the athletes that we work with. I know you and I talk many times about recruits, and you guys have had guys come on your team. You guys have lost some kids, and every school is going through this right now. So I just want to ask you, man, if we could put the NCAA commissioner Claudia Wilkins hat on you right now, what would be some changes you would like to see to the portal?
Well, everybody wanted revenue sharing, and with the revenue sharing, it's complex. And the way we have the portal right now is guys that they can go in the portal at any point, and they can leave a institution, and go within conference and play right away. They can go to, just say somebody went to Colorado, left Colorado, and went to USC. They can go back to Colorado, which I think is crazy. I think that what they need to do is you put limits on transfer, how many times you can transfer.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to put limits on the cap on the number that you can carry. Because with revenue sharing, you're giving them money and you're giving them scholarships. Okay, so now you can be backed up against the wall. So yeah, you're double dipping, exactly. So I think they need to come up with contracts, and I think if you wanted an NFL model, that's what we're close to it. Okay, so you had the model that you and us three all played in, which was all about love of the game and respect of the game. And then you have the NFL model, and everybody wanted to get paid. So now the college football model is closer to the NFL model. And if you don't put certain caps on the numbers, if you don't put scholarship limits, if you don't put contracts, then you're gonna always every year be trying to reload your program, and then you watering down history.
Q, what do you think? I mean, obviously, you and I talk about how crazy this is getting. What changes would you make if you could to the portal?
No, I agree. Again, Coach pretty much took my top one off the list. Would be, just limiting the amount of transfers. I would restructure where you have to be locked in your first 2 years, and you can only transfer after your sophomore year.
Okay.
Because
so is that
you're
2 years at the school or 2 years on the field?
Well, 2 years at the school.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm sorry. 2 years on the field. I apologize. 2 years on the field. 2 years on the field. Okay. Because it's like that way. You have to make these kids, man, with their vested somewhat, man. You got like we've seen too many kids, man. 4 schools in 4 years, 5 schools in 4 years. No, freshman year, sophomore year on the field. You got to at least work in at that school, right? And then 2, you got to think about it. If you do that, where you have a kid 2 years on the field, and they do transfer, whoever's acquiring that kid, they're gonna know a lot better what they got because they got 2 years worth of game film. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids, we said all the time, 4-star, 5-star, but that's high school. We don't know what we got. We have no idea what we got on this level, right? Okay. They come in, they're asking for money, they have minimal snaps, and they want a bag. But if you got 2 years, right? Then it's like, okay, we have something to look at. We actually know what we're getting ourselves into, bringing this kid into our program. You have no idea at this point how it is now.
Yeah, 2 years, not just being in the program, 2 years of solid production.
Yes,
because if you don't have production, then you
shouldn't be able to go anywhere.
You shouldn't be able to go anywhere because now all you're doing is a different school when you go and try to get in the portal. How they going to evaluate
exactly. But it goes back to what you said, a body of work.
Right. Yeah.
It goes back to what you just said.
Right.
That's never gonna change. Not in this game.
Right. I agree.
So always go back to a body of work.
Right.
Okay.
Especially when you ask for the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Man,
I know you've heard it all. So
numbers. Oh yeah. It's crazy. I was talking to a kid. I was talking to a kid earlier today that has minimal snaps. I think in 2 years he's had 78 snaps, and he's getting offered to go, big schools, SEC schools, Big Ten. He's getting offered $150,000 with 78 snaps.
Coach, that's only 39 snaps a year.
Absolutely.
So this boy didn't throw more touchdown passes than Skelly.
Who's his agent?
Right, exactly.
Man, you gotta be kidding me, man.
And $150,000, that's backup money. They're not giving you money to come be a starter. They give you money to be a depth piece.
That's insane.
Yeah. Wow. They get
That's
money
insane.
to back. They get money to sit on the bench, Q.
Yep.
That's insane, man.
If one of our starters get hurt, you're good enough to get us out of the game. That's what that is.
All right, you guys. So, hey, you young athletes, you better do some push-ups and do some sit-ups because you got some money coming your way if you're in line. So we're getting on to our next topic, and super pumped up once again to have you on, Coach, because this is real life. This is real time for you, and you guys have to make tough decisions between going the high school route or going the transfer route, and every scholarship, especially now, like you said, with the settlement is so critical. So talk to me a little bit about the San Diego State war room. When you guys say, hey, we need a receiver, we need a DB, how do you guys decide if you're going to the high school kid or the portal kid or JC kid?
Well, we're going to always go to the high school kid first. At San Diego State, we take pride in our jobs, and when I say that, I'm saying this: we take pride in being able to get kids to come to school here, and we enjoy developing them. Okay, we want to develop them to be the best they can be, the best version of themselves. Okay, and we don't recruit kids like we get 5-star kids that go. You're chasing logos. I always tell kids don't chase the logos because half the time you're chasing a logo, you're chasing a crowded room. If that room is crowded, you ain't gonna be able to get on the field. So why chase a crowd? Why chase a logo? You can go to a place that is telling you flat out, face to face, that we are a program that want to develop you. We're going to invest in you. Like you said, organically. We're going to make sure that we're investing in you on the field and off the field. Making you the best version of yourself. And that's what San Diego State is all about. So we go to high schools, man, and we go to showcases. We do everything right by those kids because without those kids, you don't have a game of football. And at the same time, kids that's in the portal, they're in the portal for a reason. And we think that the kids that's in the portal, half of them can't really help your program. And then if they can't help your program, okay, they're going to be disgruntled. You're going to bring bad body language. They're going to be disruptors in meetings. They're not going to go to class. So they're going to bring your team overall GPA down. So you're always looking for the right fit, the right guy. You always got to do investigative work. You're calling around, talking to the high school coaches, calling their college position coaches and things like that, instead of just going and investing in a kid and getting this kid to the level that you can get him to and move on from there. That's what we try to do here. We don't live in
That's
a
big right there, Coach. Yeah, and I know Coach Lewis, wants just to march by his own beat and not worry about what people are doing. And obviously, you guys first year last year, but you guys are doing an amazing job. That's a hotbed, and hopefully you guys can keep all that California talent right there. Let me ask you real quick, is it harder, because you've been coaching for a while, is it harder to, and I know you're a real one, you're not just worried about moving up the charts or anything like that. You really feed into these kids as human beings. Is that harder today than before?
Some people say it is, but I look at it like this. If you're, as a coach, as a person, I'm a people's person. And as a coach, I'm the same way. And I know that you can't coach each kid the same, okay? But you can show love in your coaching. You can show respect in your coaching, okay? And like, for instance, I had a guy that is a really good football player, okay? And he's not playing to his full abilities, right? So I'm constantly, got him on the phone. I'm constantly in meetings. I'm getting him on the board in front of his peers and getting him out of his comfort zone, okay? Missed a class. I'm getting this guy up 4 o'clock in the morning to come in my office, and I had a book called Path to purpose. And he's reading his. I had him read this book, every day of the week at 4:30 in the morning. And his grades went up within a month. His grades went up, and he told me, he said, Coach, this is my last week because spring ball is about to be over. I said, yeah, it is your last week. I said, so make sure that you stay on top of your grades and all those things, so we don't have to be back in here. And then he called me back and he goes, Coach, I want to be the best running back I can ever be. So what I want to do is I want to continue coming in at 4:30 in the morning. But I don't want to do the book anymore. Can we just do ball? I'm like, yeah, we can do ball. Yeah. So if I wasn't having an impression or an impact on that kid would have ran away when I said you had to be here at 4:30 in the morning, because that was tough and that was out of character. That was something he never had done to him before. But he knew that I was doing all that out of love and respect for him. And that's why he asked me to continue it on. So doing something right when you impact a kid like that. But at the same time, if you're not talking to your players on a daily basis, somebody else is. Just like your wife. I'll talk to my wife every day. Somebody gonna try to talk to her. So I make sure that I'm in their ear, and talking to them, making them feel good, making them understand that you are an important part of our program. We want you here. I want you here. My door is open. You can come talk to me about anything. Those subjects is off the table. And, my room has always been solid because of that, because I try to reach them, I try to reach their minds. I try to reach their hearts.
Wow, that's big time. And I know that's how you get down. I've always known that. And that's why I love how you coach, because you do wear your heart on your sleeve. You try to give your all. And
Appreciate it.
I know that's going down. There's not as many coaches like you. So I tip my cap to you. You guys, we are on to our next section, which is the lightning round. And I see some people, Big Ruck, definitely coming in and saying, yeah, people got money to burn. I know what you say. Yep, they're burning on backups. And a lot of those alums and donors are not too happy in some of those schools, though. But we are on to our lightning round, you guys. And I know D. Hagan has gone through the lightning round again, but this is his chance to get as much as he can get, you guys that are joining us for the first time. This is our opportunity to put him through a little blitz, 60-second word association. And we're going to see what he's got on it. Let's see and get the stopwatch ready for D. Hagan. Now, you heard that Coach was ducking bullets trying to get him as a recruit. Part of that was because he's fast. We're going to see if he's fast on this lightning round. So, D. Hagan, you know the drill. First thing that comes to your mind, and unfiltered. And we're going to see how many you can get. Now, the number's 15. If you can get to 15 or higher, it's a dinner on us. Evan Brennan has that. We had to do a cancellation dinner for those that know, watched the show last week, because Jamie was about to attack me because I made him answer something in front of his wife that he shouldn't have been answering for Megan Good. So I had to do cancellation dinner with Jamie. But this is for the real test. So 15 or higher. And if he gets to 14, he's good, because he gets one with the tech delay. All right. So we got the stopwatch ready. All right. You ready, 3?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
All right. You got this. You're a quarterback. All right. First thing that comes to your mind. Number one on the lightning round. Locke High School. Go.
Saints.
Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye?
Marvin Gaye.
Best you ever played with?
Eric Bieniemy.
64 Impala, Fleetwood Brougham Cadillac.
6'4" Impala.
Favorite cartoon growing up?
Tom and Jerry.
Italian food or Mexican food?
Italian food.
Favorite thing to eat for breakfast?
Waffles.
You already said Eric Bieniemy, so we'll give you one more for that. Best player you ever played with: Julio Jones or Calvin Johnson?
Julio Jones.
50 seconds. Cancun or Miami?
Cancun.
JJ Flanagan.
Good guy. Good player.
Bungee jump or water ski?
Water ski. Afraid of heights.
Boulder, Colorado. Time. We'll give you this one. Boulder, Colorado.
College town. Town of champions.
All right. So that is it. And let's add them up. He was
Let's check
rolling,
it out.
you
Let's
guys.
check it
Let's
out.
add them up. What did you say for breakfast? Waffles?
He said waffles.
Waffles.
Yeah. He said waffles.
All right. Let's add them up, and we're gonna revisit as we always do.
Let's
now.
see.
15's
Let's see
a
what we
number.
got.
If he can get to the super agent Evan Brennan, 15's a number. 14 ties him with the tech delay. So, all right. Number one is Locke High School. That's in LA. That's his old high school. Produced some ballers. He said Saints. Number two, Sam Cooke or Marvin Gaye. He says, give me the Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on. Number three, best you've ever played with. He says Eric Bieniemy. Number four, 6'4" Impala or the Cadillac. He's from LA. He's going with the Impala. Number five, favorite cartoon growing up. He says, give me that Tom and Jerry. Number six, Italian food or Mexican food. I actually thought he was going Mexican. He goes Italian. Number seven, favorite thing to eat for breakfast is the waffles. Number eight, we're giving it to him. Best he's ever played with, Eric Bieniemy. Number nine, Julio Jones or Calvin Johnson, two dogs. He says, give me Julio. Number 10, Cancun or Miami. Coach says, man, send me over the border. Let's go to Cancun. Number 11, JJ Flanagan, old teammate. He says, good player. Number 12, bungee jump or water ski. He says, don't put me in the air. I'm going with the water ski. Number 13, Boulder, Colorado. He says, college town and championship with the tech delay, you guys. That is 14. Just one short. Very, very close. He was cooking.
Robbed.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. Well, if I get out to SoCal, dinner on me. Yeah. There you go. There you go. So that was good right there. So we are on to our last section of the show. You guys loving it with the great Darian Hagan. College Football Hall of Fame should be coming up for this man too. And a jersey retirement of the number 3, but that's a whole nother thing. But audience Q&A. If you have a question, you're with us live, don't hesitate. Q, I know you got something for D. Hagan.
Definitely. This is a good question right here, Coach. I've been wanting to ask you this for a minute, right? So, not counting your Colorado 90 team, who have you seen team-wise between now and then? Because we're talking about like that particular team. We talking about a historical, legendary level team. Not counting y'all, who would you say is a team that you would consider overall in that level on, like in any? Well, I say from your era on. So for example, would it be that 92, 93 Nebraska? Would it be 91 Michigan? Would it be 01 Miami? That's the question.
I would say I got to go a little bit closer to now. So I would say when once Saban got to Alabama, once they started rolling, you know, those teams were dynamic. They were coached by a great coach. You know, he's fiery, just like my coach. So I would say, and they play together just like we did. There was no unselfishness. You know, they play clean ball. They talk trash, but at the end of the day, they play for each other, and they play for all the right reasons. So I would say Alabama.
Okay, got you. Myself, I guess because I'm a bit of I would consider a football historian. So right. I would say, other than y'all, I would say maybe that 1990 Notre Dame with Jerome Bettis in them. And that T, what was it? That 2008 Florida team?
Yeah,
With Chris,
you're
with
talking
Chris
about
Lee.
Nah, with Tebow
Hernandez and
and man, them
the
and that
national team.
01
Oh
Miami
yeah.
team. Yeah, those are some teams.
Yeah.
But again, we talking like including y'all, of course, legendary teams, man. So that's why I like to compare.
It has to be somebody physical to play with them because
Right, exactly. But
that's
see,
why they do
again,
Miami.
but again, out of all of those teams that you can name, out of all of those eras, the team I'm gonna keep saying the same two teams. It's that 86, 87 Miami team with Michael Irvin and them, and it's 90 Buffalo team. Because again, out of all the great teams since then, we've seen all the Alabama teams, all the LSU teams. But these dudes changed the culture of college football. They put the swag on college football that was not there before them.
Right.
And there was some good college football, don't get me wrong. But these boys, what you see now, man, with the change and the swag and the, man, you know what I'm saying, man, the vibes and this, man, these boys started that. That's what makes them even more so at the top of that list of all these great college teams over the decades. That's why I'm going to always gravitate back to those two teams.
And that's
Rupp says 90 Washington Husky.
Yeah, with Napoleon Kaufman. And they were, and here's the thing, Jimmy, they were nice, but they didn't change the culture of college football.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. These boys changed the culture. But let me put it to you like this.
There's certain teams that have a swag that 90 through 94. Because I won a Big 12 championship, but we didn't have the swag like you got.
Man,
90 through 94 was a thing. USC in with the Reggie Bush thing, that was a thing. The Miami thing was a thing. You know, there's certain groups where they pass the eye test and they body in their opponents.
Right.
You know, the Alabama.
These boys started it though. They started it. It's like Michael Irvin and them kicked it off, and then with Colorado and these boys hit it because they South, you know what I'm saying? They SoCal cats. You know what I'm saying? So these boys, they put all flavor on the game, and that's why I always, man, will appreciate this, man, in addition to everything y'all accomplished, but it was y'all style and how y'all changed the game, man. Basically, this Colorado 90 team was the equivalent of the Fab Five in basketball. How they changed basketball in college forever. Nobody was wearing black high tops. Nobody was wearing long shorts. That's what these boys were in college football. They changed the game. Period.
I remember, you know, looking at rap videos with NWA and Snoop and all those guys. They all wearing Colorado hats, Colorado shirts.
I'm saying,
you know what I'm saying? It was pretty cool.
I'm telling you,
that was cool because we represented where we came from. We wore it on our sleeves, and we backed it up.
And here's one more thing I wanted to add, Coach. I know you got to get out of it, but there's one more thing that I'd like to add is where, you know, you all's coach had a lot of similarities to Jimmy Johnson. And you know why I say that? Because he knew what he was getting in y'all. He knew where y'all boys was from. He knew where y'all boys wanted to get to, and he let y'all boys be who the hell y'all were. He didn't try to muffle that. He didn't try to change y'all. He bettered you all as men and grew you all from boys to men, but he let y'all be who the hell y'all were.
Right. Absolutely. Only thing he required was go to class, get a degree.
That's it.
He knew we were coming to practice, and we were gonna practice our butt off. We was gonna be competitive. And we go on the football field, wasn't nobody going to intimidate us. Okay, so when we stepped on the field, we went right to the 50-yard line and just stared down the other team. If you dared to come to the 50, then it was going to be a problem.
I'm telling you.
You know, so yeah, I agree. We set the tone, and it was fun during that era.
Yeah, and you got to be a special kind of coach, man, to let boys do, to not try to change it and that's what to me, in addition to all that talent, man, that was more, that went into you all winning like you did because
Right.
it was, it came out of your playing style, man. When you try to change a kid in regards to who they are, you're not going to get the finished product you're looking for. But he let y'all be who y'all were again, just like Jimmy Johnson did down in Miami. He knew how them boys was. These boys from Dade County. But again, look, just go to class and don't do nothing I can't cover you for.
Right.
and let them ball and let them be kids, and guide them, but let them be who they are, man. And that's one thing y'all coach did.
Yeah, I agree.
No, that's amazing, man. And but I know you got to go, D. Hagan. But let me ask you this. Let's just play a game with me, man, real quick before I let you go.
All right.
Because you know the level you were at when you were in college. And you know the level that these kids are getting paid at now. If you could really kind of zap yourself back or maybe move yourself forward to this time, at the level that you were at, man, how much you think you could have got nowadays? Real talk.
At the level I was at?
Knowing what you know now about what's going on behind the scenes, what kids are getting, at the level you were at, man, how much you think you could ask for?
I'd have got more than Nico.
Ooh.
I would say I would have been a millionaire, man. You'd have to take care of me. You had to take care of me.
But it was justified because again, how many times we didn't say it tonight? It goes back to the body of work. Because see, that's the thing about it is these boys were cold and they were winning.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I tell my players all the time, man. I just be joking with them. They'll be like, Coach, man, we need more money, man. They get to complaining about stuff. And then I'll say, look, man, if I played during y'all time, okay, y'all wouldn't even never know me because I wouldn't be coaching.
We go. No, 100%. They better go back on YouTube and get their facts straight so that they can pay homage. And they know who they dealing with every day at practice, man. So, hey, I'm going to let you go. I know you got a million things on your plate. Love you to death, Buffalo, man.
Love you too,
/ Aztec. And we rooting for you, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
No, thank you guys, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Anytime you guys want to talk, man, just shoot me a text or give me a call, and I'm all in, man.
All right, Coach. Appreciate you, my man.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys. Continue.
All right, you guys. So, hey, that is the great Darian Hagan, you guys. And like you said, man, legendary, dude. Legendary,
hey, boy. And like you said, man, these boys, man, I guarantee, man, more than half his players have no idea. They just like, man, that's just Coach Hagan. They ain't look back at that man YouTube. Man, that boy was, man, nasty out there, dude. Like, man, it was just, like I said, that and as us as kids, that's what made you want to go to Division I football in the 80 and 90,000 people stadium, man, and do your thing on TV, man, is watching these dudes because they were electrifying. And you like, man, I want to be that.
Yeah. No, very much so. Like you guys watch your Travis Hunters and your Shadors and, your Saquon Barkleys. D. Hagan was one of those guys. He just came at the wrong era. The right era for him to stay a quarterback, but of course he wasn't going to get the NFL shot without switching positions. But when you talk about just college football elite royalty, he doesn't get enough flowers, man.
No,
he really doesn't get enough flowers,
man. I'm telling you, but that's the thing about it. It was even as good as Coach was, man. That's why I kept saying, we're looking at the entire team and what they accomplished, right? And then again, as we always say, T, it's about, man, when you with boys and you accomplish that type of success, man, over, 4 or 5 years, man, those are your brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, they showing up at your wedding, man. Those are the guys, man, some happy or whatever, man, you calling at 1 o'clock in the morning because you just need to talk about the stresses in life or whatever. That's non-existent now. That's non-existent.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him about that, and I forgot. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know until they change the transfer portal rule. I mean, the kid from Colorado said it, the big old lineman, Seaton. He said it's hard to build a brotherhood when everybody's jumping ship.
You can't. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. If everyone is chasing a bag, then it's impossible. That's the thing I keep wondering is how are these kids getting people constantly from all over the place? And of course you got a playbook, but there has to be some type of synergy. You got to get these kids to jail. How the hell do you do that in a spring? How do you do that in a spring?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if the blue bloods that don't lose as many kids, like Ohio State or Texas, because, those kids, I mean, the only kids that they're going to lose are the ones they push out or the ones that know they're not good enough, but most of them are going to stay. I would guess that they have lower rates of transition than some of these mid-level schools, so those are going to be the only schools where you might get, because they don't need to go rush to the portal. They've got younger kids who might be willing to stay around. Right. But yeah, man, overall, it's not college anymore. It's not the same model. You can't call it college football anymore. It's a different model.
Yeah.
It's a different model.
Yeah.
College football is where you meet your boy who's going to be your kid's godfather. That's college football.
Yes.
That's where I stay in the dorm. That's college football. Where I'm there for 4 or 5 years, developing relationships, man, there's no more college football unless you're playing lower level.
Yeah.
So if you want to experience real college football like you and I experienced, they got to go play lower.
Yeah, it ain't going to be Power 5. No.
This is pro. That's college.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. That's a good way to put it, actually, Coach. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
100% what it is. And it's sad, man, in the sense that you don't have that brotherhood. Do we like seeing kids get paid what they're worth? Absolutely we do. But it's just that you have no brotherhood and you got kids that are getting paid what they're not worth. So that's the part that we're seeing, man. You have no production and you just coming in off of, high school accolades, demanding bread, man. And they're going to have to change that. They're going to have to change that, man.
Yeah, but until they do, you young athletes,
it's wide open.
You can get.
Yeah.
You better get all you can get.
You ain't lying.
Because it's wide open. The world is your oyster, the college football world. So hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I know you guys are finishing. I'm going to see if you think Shador getting drafted in the first round, or is he going to have to wait till tomorrow?
We gonna see. Like I said, I had either Dallas or Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I think Dallas is on the clock at 12. Pittsburgh is on the clock, I think, at 21, the 21st pick. So we'll see. I'm thinking
they already beat that. So hopefully you guys are well. Big Ruck said D1 football internship. Yep, that's exactly what we got there. But hey, have a great weekend. Enjoy the draft. Some of you guys visualize, because it may be you one day. I love you. This is Coach Wood. That's the guru. We'll see you at the top.